Trinesha, Catrell.
Hi, this is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about the battle, the battle within. I know that is so the wrong title, but the battle of the giants or whatever. So today in church, the pastor talked about the battle of the sins. And so I thought about the battle within. So it reminded me of that. So before we get started, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay, so earlier today, the pastor was preaching from, I believe it was 1 Samuel 17, 46 through 47. And for those of you that don't know, this is the story about David and Goliath. And it talks about how he had 5 stones and he used the first stone to kill the giant. But it also, the pastor's word title was The Battle of Sins. For me, it started making me think about the battle within. Sometimes we could be our own worst enemy. You know, there's a lot of cynicism and things that circulate through our mind that cause us to not go for our purpose, to not go for our dreams and really walk in purpose the way that God intended for us to. And the biggest thing that we can do in life is to get out of our own way. When we have those negative thoughts, we got to be like, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. We need to be like, nah, not today. Like, no, I'm going to do this regardless. Like, you could think what you want to think. You got to like really be about it and putting on your full armor of God. You got to be prepared for the battle within yourself and the battle of others. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to believe in you? So it's so important for us to say, okay, I really, really want this thing. And as soon as you start getting your mind right, you're like, okay, I'm going to go for this dream. I'm going to go for this job. I'm going to go for this person, place, or thing. The next thing you know, you got this negative, this self-doubt. All of these things start coming in your mind like, you'll never be able to do this. Oh, no, you can't go for that job. You're not qualified. There's a saying that goes around, plenty of people have probably heard it, but it says, God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So you don't have to ever worry about being prepared for something that God placed on the inside of you or something that God wanted you to do in purpose. You could have no credentials and God can qualify you for the job. You could have no experience and God could say, all right, you the person. And all of a sudden that job description is everything that you are. Sometimes you don't even have to have qualifications. God's been training you in the off season for things that you didn't even know that you were prepared for. I know in my life, there were things that I had no idea why God was doing this thing or having me do certain things in my life. And come to find out, all of those things were preparing me for the thing that God was placing in my path or placing for me in the future. I was like, God, why would you have me join choir? God, why would you have me do this thing or that thing or stop at this store? And I go to the store or I do other things in life. And the whole time it blesses somebody else and internally blesses me. Sometimes we feel like when we helping other people, it's really for ourselves. But if you're like me, whenever I do something to serve somebody else, it really blesses my soul. It really allows me to be in my full potential. It allows me to really say, okay, God, I see you. I see what you did there. Like, there was a day when I was doing something and I was like, okay, God, what is it that you want for me to do? And I allow God to order my footsteps. And I'm like, okay, God, just show me what it is that you want for me to do. So I start being obedient little by little. And the next thing you know, the glow comes back. The next thing you know, that light that I had within me that was starting to dim because of outside things and the self-doubt and everything else started making me believe again. It started making my faith grow stronger. It started making my relationship with God healthier and better and more secure. It started making me feel secure because my security comes from God. And sometimes we don't understand that being obedient isn't just about what looks shiny and new and great. Sometimes obedience looks like getting it out the mud. Sometimes obedience looks filthy. Sometimes it doesn't look good. And then the next thing you know, you end up shining. It's like whenever you see somebody that's abrasive, like, or something abrasive rubbing against something and the sandpaper is so abrasive, but it's going back and forth. It's rubbing against it. It's irritating it. And the next thing you know, that thing is so smooth and shiny. It looks like it's brand new because with God, all old things are passed away. Old things become new. That is how it is when we are in the potter's house. That's how it is when God is working on us on the inside. He takes those things that look like doubt, those things that look like jealousy, those things that look like envy, and he turns it into hope, into peace, into joy, into faith. And only God can do that. I know sometimes we like to feel like we really do everything, but I don't know where I would be without God. I really don't know. And he he did a complete 180 on me and my life. I was really so cynical when I was coming up, when I was younger, before I rededicated my life to God, thinking nothing was possible. I just felt like everything was going to be something horrible. Like whatever's the worst case scenario is what I believed in my life. And I'm like, this could never happen. This is what really happens. And then God was like, oh, ye of little faith. How could you believe in God and think that he can't make the impossible possible? How could you believe in God and not see that all things are working together for your good? How could you believe in God and not see that as long as you're faithful, he would never has he seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. You don't never have to worry, because worry can't add another moment to your life. Worry is a thing that will only stop you. Worry is a thing that only will stifle you. It will not be able to propel you forward. It will not be able to prepare to push you into purpose. If you're going to believe in God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and he will order your steps. He will make sure that your crooked paths are straight. He will make sure that he makes you a new creation. But the first battle is your mind. You got to give God your thoughts. Any doubt that you have, anything that you're worrying with. I was having this conversation with my grandmother yesterday. Sorry, Grandma, if you watch this, but it's not nothing bad. No, but seriously. And we were talking about relationships and different things in life. And as we were talking, I was telling her about something that I was cynical about. And I was like, yeah, I just can't even imagine this thing. I can't even picture it in my mind. I don't even feel like I don't want to say I don't have hope for it. I know that it's possible. I just, in my mind, I can't even imagine it. And she told me this thing. She said, when you can't imagine it, take it to God. Because even if you can't imagine it, even if you haven't seen it before, faith is the hope of things that are unseen. Even if you don't even know what it's going to look like, God knows what it's going to look like. Even if you can't even imagine or see your life going in this direction, or see how you're going to be able to propel into purpose, or see how the trajectory of your life is going to keep going up, God knows. He knows your story from beginning to end. He knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. He knows every single hair on your head. So how is it that he knows all those things about you and he cannot make your life better? He cannot make your life above anything that you could ever ask or think, anything that you can even imagine. How could you ever think that God would just sell you short, or have you out here just looking crazy? God's going to make sure that you look great in him, that everything that you're doing for the kingdom, everything that you give up for God will be replaced with something way better. Never feel like you giving up something is you giving up everything. God is your everything, and he will make sure he replaces everything that you have willingly given to him. Every time I think I got God figured out, or I know what's going to happen, God is like, gotta be quick in that. Just kidding. No, God be like, and like a whole, like, he just be doing something different. And that's how God works. He really does just do things the way that we don't understand. Like, we might not understand what God is doing. Our ways are not his ways. Our thoughts are not his thoughts, but he be like, I got you. Like, just sit back and relax. There's a song that I really like. It's called The Ride. And I think it's by Bryson. I can't remember what his last name is, but I like the acoustic version. That's besides the point. But it's about releasing control in your life and giving it to God. That although we might want to have control over things, although we might think we know better than God, we don't know better than God. And when we release control and give it all to him, he can literally take care of everything. There's nothing that we have to worry about. Worrying cannot add another hour, minute, or day to your life. So what is the point of worrying? But when you put your trust in God, when you put all your weight on God, when you stand flat-footed in faith, unmovable, that's when God can move in your life. So allow God to move and start speaking positivity over your life, because you are the only thing standing in your way. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good, amazing Sunday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.